What we're seeing right now is the end of a cycle, which means someone is going to die and new people will probably arrive in season 5. There's a reason the boy in white keeps showing up to help. I don't think he wants anyone to fail, which is exactly why he tells Victor to warn everyone not to pull down the bottle tree. I truly believe that if they destroy the tree, the entire town would change. The climate, the environment, the landscape, maybe even the location itself. As Boyd said, they still don't know the rules, but as the audience, we're slowly starting to see what those rules actually are. We've watched the beginning of the cycle and now we're watching the end of one too. The boy in white clearly knows the rules, which is why he keeps watching everything unfold. Now, here is my theory. I do believe the boy in white can shapeshift just like the man in yellow. I know a lot of people think the man in yellow is the one shapeshifting into everyone, but I think we may be giving him too much credit. I actually think the boy in white may have appeared as Father Country and Tom, people who help Boyd and Jay see the bigger picture, find answers, and move one step closer to going home. I also think the boy in white might be something like a Nephilim. There are certain things he can't just tell the townspeople outright because they have to solve parts of this on their own. Maybe once they do, that's when he can reveal more. There's also a reason Boyd keeps going back to the church. He talks to whoever might be listening and asks what he has to do to get his people home. How can he save them? Even after everything he's been through over the past 4 seasons, he still holds on to faith and hope. He still walks into that church looking for guidance. And I think that connects directly to what Abby told Boyd about hope feeding the forest. It also parallels to what Ethan told Tabitha. I think this place tried to make us afraid, so we won't believe in the things that can help us. All those things you remember, you should listen to what it's trying to tell you. Don't be scared to believe. That line matters. And when I tell you, Ethan had dropped some wisdom on that. And in my opinion, hope in From isn't just an emotion. It's a spiritual force. It's confidence, faith, and courage rooted in something bigger than fear. And I think that's part of why the children pointed to Tabitha as the chosen one. Then Boyd explains Fatima's situation to Sarah. He reminds her that when Fatima went missing, Sarah told him the voices were laughing because they knew he wouldn't be able to save her. Boyd says they found Fatima and that she was okay, which should mean the voices was wrong. But Sarah says, I don't know. And honestly, I don't think Boyd saved Fatima at all. I think Fatima was gone a long time ago. Her transformation started the moment she found out she was pregnant and began eating rotten food. Then Tilly's tarot reading, which I still believe was pointing towards death or a monster. But I don't think the transformation was fully completed until Sophia transferred her blood into Clara and Clara put it in the soup for Fatima to drink. Speaking of Clara, I don't think she's going home either. Once you make a bargain with a dark entity, which I believe is a sorcerer, the outcome is never good. That brings me to Elgin finding the photo of Sophia and asking all the wrong questions, which leads to Sophia telling Clara to lock the doors. I know people have already spotted the hidden clues in that photo, but what I want to know is this. Who are the 2 people in the picture and who took the photo? My theory is that Sophia is eventually going to give Elgin a choice. Die or become one of her spies. Then Tabitha explains to Boyd that only 2 people need to go into the tunnels, her and Jade. She pulls out the talisman and says the 2 figures carved on it represents them. In other words, there are the 2 people meant to free the children. And that explains why Sophia got angry at Clara. She thought random people were going down there, and when in reality, this place seems to be tied to a ritual, and Tabitha and Jay are central to the ritual. The man in yellow knows there is a possibility that they can free the children. Then we get Henry and Victor. Victor tells Henry to think about the anchor that's keeping him there. And Henry responds by saying Victor is the anchor and he can't kill him. That line stood out to me because hope is often described as an anchor for the soul, a force that keeps you steady in suffering and uncertainty. But I think the anchor idea goes even deeper than that. An anchor keeps something from drifting. It holds it in place. It keeps a ship from being carried away by the current. So if Victor is Henry anchor, that could mean Victor is the one thing keeping Henry tied to the reality, the memory, or the cycle. Without Victor, Henry might completely lose his grip and start unaliving people at the town. And what if major characters in From has an anchor, not just emotionally, but spiritually and psychologically? Something that keeps them connected to the town, the cycle, or their purpose inside the place. Boyd's anchor is Ellis, Fatima, and Hope. Tabitha anchor is Ethan, Julie, and the Ankui children. Jay's anchor is the need to understand and solve the mystery, and Victor's anchor might be memory itself. That would explain why memory matters so much in this show, why Victor draws, why Ethan is now drawing, and why certain people keep seeing visions, dreams, and pieces of the past. Because if memory is your anchor, then forgetting means drifting. And if you drift too far in this place, maybe that's when the town gets you. That's why I think Victor teaching Ethan how to survive if he ends up alone is not just about survival skills. It's Victor passing down the same coping system he used when everyone died. Draw the pictures, remember the details, pretend you're not alone, hold on to something. In other words, build yourself an anchor before the cycle resets and leaves you behind. And that brings me right back to the spiderweb theory that I talked about before. A spider sits at the center of its web. It watches everything. It waits and it manipulates movement through the vibration in the web. That's exactly how this place feels. I don't think the spider web is just symbolism. I think it represents the actual system controlling the town. Every person in From feels like they're attached to one strand of that web. When someone starts remembering too much, questioning too much, or getting too close to the truth, the web reacts. So my theory is this: the spider web is the system that controls the town, and the anchors are the people, memories, or emotional bonds that stops the character from being completely absorbed by it. The web pulls, the anchor holds. The web manipulates fear, guilt, grief, and memory to move people where it wants them. The anchor is the one thing resisting that pull. Now, I will say this: I was a little disappointed with parts of this episode. Elgin said some ridiculous things, and I was kind of upset at that scene, and it just didn't make any sense to me of why Elgin will even show the picture of Sophia and basically ask that dumb question. And also, the conversation between Tabitha and Julie felt like a huge missed opportunity. The entire conversation ends with Julie thinking the place isn't real and refusing to believe that Tabitha has been reincarnated. For me, that was a disconnect, and that's exactly what I mean about the communication in the show. Someone reveals something huge connected to the town, and somehow nobody really talks about it. Another question I have is this: when Claire made a bargain with the dark entity after first arriving in town, who did the man in yellow shapeshift into when he made that deal with her? That's what I want to know. Did Claire actually see the real entity itself? And I'm not talking about the man in yellow that we've been seeing the entire time, the actual entity form. Then we finally see Tabitha and Jay remove the slab and discover the children's bones. Now, I cannot wait for episode 10, and unfortunately, of course, this is the last episode. Let me know in your theories in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one.